I'm Antony Williams, and I'm actually sitting at the entrance to my new show with the Leandro Navarro Gallery, which will be my second exhibition with the gallery. My first exhibition being quite a few years ago now, in 2001. So it's been a long wait, but I think it's been, it's something I've been wanting to do again, to collaborate with the gallery, because it's such a great gallery, and I've been looking forward to this for quite some time, and hopefully it will, everyone who sees it will enjoy it. Hopefully, yeah. Well, I mean, I started, a long time ago, yeah, and originally I wasn't an egg tempera painter, which I'm now. I started working in oils, like most people, and so it took me quite a few years to establish my style and develop my work, especially during my 20s, and I think around my mid-20s I really started getting involved with portraiture and working in a figurative way, because before then I'd sort of experimented more with different ways of working and been influenced by different artists. And I've always admired the work of someone like Lucian Freud and Ewan Uglow and people like that. And I always aspired to be a figurative painter in that kind of mold, I suppose. And so I slowly worked away, and then I started entering competitions in London, and I had some success. And I won a competition a couple of times, actually. I won something called the Ondaatje Prize for a portrait I did of a bishop, which generated a commission to paint the Queen back in 1995. So that's how my career got started, really. And since then, I've been specializing in working towards exhibitions and occasionally doing commissions, but all in egg tempera now. I work, exclusively in egg tempera, which is a very slow and painstaking medium, and the paintings can take months to sort of produce. Yeah. Well, yes, that's an interesting question, because I could have painted these paintings with oil. But I just feel that something about tempera has a very distinct quality. Has a different kind of optical quality. It has a very different feel about it, and it works on a very small scale, and then it works on a monumental scale as well. So, and I think I do my best work in egg tempera. So that's why I decided, all those years ago, to sort of specialize in egg tempera, because I felt that I did my best work with that medium, really. So although it's very painstaking and slow and quite laborious sometimes, I've sort of stuck with it because I have a belief in it. So I'm standing in front of one of my paintings, and this is a painting titled Jacqueline with Still Life, which was painted in my studio, which is near Hampton Court, actually, on the river. So it's on the River Thames, and I'm on the first floor. So it's very light filled. The whole studio is very light filled from the reflections from the river. So this is a setup that I created in that studio with Jacqueline, sort of a regular model that I've worked with for quite a few years now, and I've combined it with a sort of still life motif, which is something I've always worked on as well. So alongside the portraits and nudes that I've painted over the years, I've often painted a still life, which is on its own. But now, in sort of more recent years, I've kind of combined the two subjects. So you've got a still life and the figurative element as well, which kind of creates like a bit of a narrative, although it's not really obvious what the narrative is. So which is my intention really. It's sort of ambiguous really, but yeah, that's really what it is. It was just a way for me to explore both subjects really within one painting, which creates a sort of an interesting composition, hopefully. Yeah. Yes, this is a painting I did 4 or 5 years ago. It's actually of my wife, Caroline, who featured in various other paintings in this exhibition. But in this one, it's of her in this landscape that's very near to where I live, actually, in Chertsey, Surrey. And it's of this pond that we go to every sort of Sunday for a walk, actually, in the sort of countryside nearby. And I've often sort of thought about, doing a painting of it. It's taken me years, actually. I think it took me about 20 years walking around this landscape to decide to actually paint it. Because I was sort of unsure about painting outside, and especially with tempera, because it's very slow. The weather is very changeable, so it's quite difficult working on the spot. So in the end, it's a bit of a combination of working there and working in my studio. So I did some sketching over there, and then I would work in my studio from the drawings and some of the photographs I might have taken. So although ideally I'd like to do it totally different subject if I can, but I just felt that I had to do it in my studio because of the scale, and it was something I've been wanting to do for ages, having a figure in a landscape, and again creating some kind of narrative which it's not obvious what it should be. It could be anything. There's a figure there on its own, looking into the water, a reflection of her as well. And I really enjoyed painting it with all the reflections, and that's what drew me to it. I think initially was this water, quite dark, with dark forms of trees. So there's something potentially ominous going on there, but it's only implied. So yeah. So.